Is common sense so common anymore? Join us at the Tiki Bar Live Saturday, June 6th at 6 p.m. and bring some common sense with you.
Well, well, well. What's going on, family? How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Tiki Bar. We are here. I see I got some people in the house already. I got Marines Army Mom, the Moose, blessings. AG, born Jamaican, bless up yourself. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So you already know. I got a special song for you guys tonight. In keeping with the theme of the Tiki Bar. So, should I wait or should I wait for the raid? Because I know I'm getting raided somehow, some way tonight. Brian, bless up yourself, my brother. Welcome into the Tiki Bar. Poppy, wagwan. Bless up yourself. Tim Mitchell in the building. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to play this song real quick so that we can get this thing started. So, in keeping with the theme of the Tiki Bar tonight, I hope you enjoy this music. Listen up closely. Here we go. Let me know if you guys can hear the song. Listen in very closely and welcome into the Tiki Bar. Listen up.
Campaign. If the stove was hot, we knew not to touch. Now folks read the warning label way too much. Somebody microwaved a metal spoon, then blamed the manufacturer by afternoon. A guy got lost using GPS, standing in his driveway. What a mess! What happened to common sense? Did it pack his bags and jump the fence? It used to be free, didn't cost a cent. Now we're all asking, where common sense went? What happened to common sense? Did it move away and stop paying rent? Pull up a chair and grab a drink, cause some of this stuff will make you think. A sign says wet floor in giant red letters. Somebody slips and says they should have warned me better. Folks got smartphones smarter than a rocket ship, but still can't find the ketchup in the fridge they live with. A man spent 20 minutes looking for his glasses while they were sitting on his face the whole time. Classes, and don't get me started on social media fights. People arguing all day and all night. What happened to common sense? Did it catch a flight and never come back since? You used to solve problems with a little thought. Now we're Googling things we already got. Woo! Now grandma's shaking her head. Grandpa's laughing in his chair, saying we survived without Wi-Fi. How y'all struggling out there? The Tiki Bar crew all gather around, sharing stories from every town. Some are funny, some are true, and a few might describe me and you. Oh, what happened to common sense? The mystery's growing more intense. Maybe it's hiding behind the couch or chilling at the Tiki Bar, hanging out. So raise your glass and join the debate before common sense disappears too late. Tonight we're laughing, that's the plan, at the things we do as modern man. Welcome to the Tiki Bar chat, where common sense is still on the menu. The supplies may be limited.
Yeah. Welcome to the Tiki Bar. We're going to play that song again because I got different versions of it, but it's in keeping with the theme tonight. So first things first, let me welcome in everyone that's in the building right now. I got the Ninja Raid that's in the building. Reds, big up yourself. Bless up yourself. I got Morty. Morty already acting out, and we ain't even started the conversation yet. Miss TT, Informer TT. Bless up yourself, my sister. Welcome in, welcome in. I got Brian in the building. I got Miss Cheryl. Hi, Miss Cheryl. Welcome in. Who else is in the building? Auntie, my favorite auntie. She's always my number one anyway. So no matter what I want to say, auntie, I'm a number one. And she knows me are a number one. So, Reds, Go on with that space in the background there. Yeah, man. Fire for that. King Nero. Bless up yourself, my brother. Welcome in. I got Nate UK. Bless up yourself. Using my phrase while I go on here. So, all right. So, I suspect you're a yard man. So, anyway, welcome to the Tiki Bar. Tim, bless up yourself, my family. Thanks for being here. Thanks to everybody for being to the Tiki Bar. It's another great weekend, another great week. It's life and how we deal with it. So, when I dropped this, when I thought about this topic, I was like, man, there's so much craziness going on YouTube right now. Not just YouTube, but just in life in general, you know? And I said, this would be a great conversation. And let me put this out there. We're not here to bash anybody or anything else like that. We are here to just have a conversation and get our thought processes through. Okay? So, the ground rules of the Tiki Bar, if you've never been here before, it's all about positivity. It's all about understanding more than anything else, right? So, first things first, when you check in, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the like, right? That gives security will give you a little armband, all right? That means you can step up to the bar at any time. Let me know. The chat should be pinned, so anybody can come up, step up to the bar at any single or anytime they feel like it. All right. So let me know if the link is pinned in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if it's pinned in the chat, and I will make sure. If it's not, then I will update again because I did this earlier, and sometimes once the live start, it kind of disappears. All right. So make sure give me a thumbs up. Let me know the it's pinned in the chat so you guys can come up at any time. As we call it, stepping up to the bar. Okay. Now I got all these good, beautiful people in here in my community. AG already stepping up to the bar. AG, they're on the road. AG, they're on the road.
Blessings,
So
blessings,
bless up
blessings.
yourself, AG. Bless up yourself. So let me do the introduction real quick, AG. I'm glad to see you check in early. Come to see you there on the road. So tonight we are talking about a topic that everyone talks about, but nobody seems to agree on. All right. What happened to common sense?
Ooh,
People have changed, right, over time.
right.
Has technology really changed us, Has it made us smarter or has it made us more dependent? Are we losing basic life skills? So, or are we just simply looking past through the rose, yeah, as I'm call it, the rose glasses? We've all seen moments where someone does something and you just stand there and you shake it and you say, really? You really did that? What was that person thinking, right? So before we start pointing fingers at each other, let's ask ourselves, are we actually losing common sense? Or is the world becoming so complicated that common sense isn't enough anymore? All right, so tonight we're going to find out. So,
That's a
what is
good
common
topic.
sense? What is common
That's a
sense?
good topic.
So now I ask the panel. Well, you're the first one for the panel. So give me your definition of common sense, AG.
Why common sense is just knowing the basic, but nowadays that's not even good enough. For example, you remember back in the days, phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
We used to keep all these numbers in our head.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we have to depend on technology really, because why? I don't know what this world coming to, brother. I don't know, man.
And that's the reason why I asked the
And
question. You
I
know?
don't know what is coming to, because we're depending on the computer age so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like common sense is thrown right out the window.
Right. And it's kind of funny you mentioned something simple as remembering phone numbers, right?
Right.
Now, to be the devil's advocate on that, right? Remember when we was growing up and our grandparents said, look, I used to walk 10 miles to school one way every day. But then we are say grandma with them have school bus now, so we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, right, right.
Until
But
the
you know
bus
what's
go
so
until the bus break down. Yeah, go ahead.
you,
Go
you,
ahead.
you know what's so funny about speaking about the same thing, you know? I know that Jamaican we used to walk at school and it used to seem like miles, you know. But me get old and go back to the same area.
Mm-hmm.
It's about when I say it's about a good mile, because to us back then it was about 5 miles.
Oh, it seemed like 100 miles back then.
My God. And the house we used to live in our community. To me, that was the biggest house and this and that and that. I went back down there to the net back. I could step in at the front door and drop right out at the back.
hmm
Yeah. But
So let me
common
ask you
sense,
this.
bro.
Let me ask
Uh-huh.
you this. Is common sense something you were born with or something you were taught?
Common sense supposed to be something, I think something you're supposed to bond with it now.
And why you say
I,
that? Why do you feel like that's something?
because it's just it's come natural.
hmm
It's supposed to come natural. I think so.
So it's kind of like that thing
Because
where they talk about
it's
having that sixth sense, right?
yeah, it's like I'm saying, but people do things nowadays, like you said, and you want. Did he really do that? Or you understand?
Right,
Did they
right.
really and truly do that? For example, yeah, I'm driving, and some
hmm
of the things what me see people do out here,
Oh my God.
we have to say, what sense did that make?
Right,
Cut in front of you and step on brakes.
right. And explain to the people then why that makes sense to you, because you drive a semi truck. So
But
common sense for you is saying that you can't just step on your brakes in front of me. I have a however much ton vehicle behind you, and my
exactly,
brakes
this
my
is a.
brakes is not gonna slow down as much. So explain that to the people and so them
If I'm
understand
doing
what you're
60
talking about.
miles per hour to come to a complete stop, this is supposed to take up at least a half a football field, at 60 miles per hour.
hmm
But these people cut in front of you and step on brakes, and I mean, you have to really and truly drive for you and them out here. Especially
hmm
with this is 80,000 pounds I'm pulling.
hmm
If you get lick with this thing here, you're gonna steal lick.
You ain't surviving, right?
Common sense. All right, for our next example, you're driving next to me.
hmm
You refuse to either fall back or speed up. You drive right next to my tires. What if I have a blowout?
hmm hmm and
Common
and
sense. You're driving next to a big truck and next to the tires. Move from the tires.
and get out of your blind spot, right?
Get my blind spot. They will sit there. And I mean, I have to, they call it the big picture.
hmm
You have to look you have to you have to know what behind the trailer, directly behind it, what's on the side, I
hmm
have to know, but sometimes these people don't think.
hmm
Oh, it's just a truck.
And that's what we're talking about is, you know, and it's crazy because sometimes what you think is common sense to you is not common sense to somebody
Another
else.
person.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So in some senses we can say, because we know, like, you drive a truck, so common sense will tell you that it takes you a longer time to brake if somebody pulls in front of you and step on the brakes, right? It also tells you that if somebody's in your blind spot, you can't see them if you have to change lanes, right? Something simple as that.
Exactly. But
But
they
the
don't know that.
average,
To them
right?
is
Right,
what they're
right.
doing what they're doing is common sense to them.
To them, 100%. 100%. And that's the thing, because
Ah,
the exact same thing that you talk about is something I see all the time. As a law enforcement officer driving on the road, I see some crazy stuff, right? And I tell people all the time, I'm so glad that I'm not like like a traffic police, because I would be in court every single day because some of the crazy stuff I see people do all the time on the road. You know what I'm saying? And but again, for us, it's common sense. And I feel like, just like you said, right? We're born with this natural instinct. I don't think we have to be taught what's right and wrong. I feel like
Was exactly. It
it's
just
a
comes.
genetic
It
thing,
comes.
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a genetic thing where we learn. No, well, I won't say that, but we naturally have common sense. I feel like everybody naturally has common sense. It's almost like you choose to either listen to that common sense, or you choose to ignore it, right? It generally boils
Hmm.
down to choice, you know.
It's choice, right? To-
Yeah,
That's why they said to each his own.
to each his own, to each his own. And at the end of the day, we can't, we're not here to judge, right? But it's like, based on society and the norms of society, there are certain things that we expect that people are supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't know it, we kind of chastise them a little bit because they say, "Oh, you don't know that," you know,
But
oh yeah,
sometimes they do know, like you said,
and they choose to
we
not
automatically know right from wrong, and a lot of people know, oh, that's not right, and yet they still
choose not to follow that
still
instinct,
do the
right?
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a crazy. It's when you think
yeah.
about it, it's a crazy conversation because, like you said, you know, and just using your example of driving on the road, right? We see road rage, we see all this crazy stuff that goes on all the time on the roads, and you're like, all right, simple thing, right? I lived in Germany for 3 years, and one of the things they did was common sense to them was, and it was part of the law too, right? That if somebody was coming up behind you going driving faster than you were, the law is that, or common sense would say, pull over to the right so that person could pass because you're actually going slower than they were. We know, and
Move out their way.
yeah, being on the road, it's like you're coming up, especially here in Maryland, like everybody drives in the left lane. And so you're coming up, you're trying to pass.
Yeah, no.
They won't let you pass. So then you get in the right lane to try to pass, and then they speed up, right? Because now their feelings are hurt, And common sense would say, let the person pass. They have something, apparently something else they have to do that has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's wild, man. Hold on, let me big up a couple of people in the building because the chat is moving so fast right now because of the live. So I got Chef Civvy in the
Okay.
building. I got Prof Green in the building. Bless up yourself. Morty's rolling like he normally is. Desert Living is in the building. Nina, bless up yourself. Lou Anderson, bless up yourself. Welcome in. Welcome into the chat, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button when you come in and just join the conversation. You can step up to the Tiki Bar. You see AG's on the road, and you know, we're trying to keep him awake right now, even though the sun's out. But truck driving is not an easy thing. Trust me. My cousin
Oh
G does
yeah.
it, and it's not an easy thing. So just using that, he uses his common sense every single day. You know what I'm saying? I got Morty said common sense has nothing to do with book smarts or anything like that. Common sense is having the
Hmm.
common sense to stop before you drive into a wall. 100%. But Morty, some people just decide they're going to drive into the wall.
Yeah, I've seen it plenty of times.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I think my sense is that, like you said, technology has kind of limited people to, well, if they wanted to, limit them to using that actual knowledge that they have and starting to depend on what technology provides. The common sense is still there. It's just like, you're some of the things we do, we say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna Google this," when you actually know exactly what it is already. You know,
Yeah, mm-hmm.
so it's not like no common sense say, "Yo, you know, in order for me water the grass, I need to turn on the hose and turn on the water, right?" But at the same time, with the with technology now, we want to make sure so we're doing it right, even though we know how to do it already. But we gotta say, let me Google it just to make sure. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you another question until somebody else step up to the bar. Um, does common sense vary by generation?
The way is this generation looking now, I would say yes. I'll tell honest to God. Because things I see these kids doing nowadays, man. Jeez and peace. Look, you see this guy here driving in 2 lanes. Yeah, I would say yeah, because these kids nowadays, I don't know if they know anything about common sense. Them have it, but them don't know nothing about it.
How to use it? Yeah,
Them don't know how to use it. I feel sorry for them, man.
and you know
I
what?
really do.
It makes sense that it would change by generation, right? Because some of the things that we have now, some different generations before us didn't have, and generations after us will not have. You know what I'm saying? So, in some senses, it's not like we can really blame them, aside from the fact that the basic knowledge of common sense is ingrained in our DNA already. It's just a matter of one, how you were raised, I believe, um, and how you decide to use that information
The knowledge,
that's
right? The
yeah,
knowledge yeah.
that's
You're right.
ingrained in you already. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of it comes down to choice. You choose to either, because we all have that little feeling in the back of our neck, right? It's like you're doing something and you're like, man, I don't think this is the this is the right thing to do, right? Without even being told what it is. And you decide, you know what, I'm gonna follow my mind. And you follow your mind and it turns out it's the right thing to do. Right. And I feel like that's, I don't know if anybody in the chat agrees with that. Like, let me know. What do you think is that common sense? The things that we naturally know is the right thing to do, you know what I'm saying? Or the wrong thing to do, vice versa. What's your thoughts on that? I'm trying to keep up with the chat because it's going so fast. I got Mama Lynn over here next to me trying to respond to everybody because the chat is going so fast.
Blessings, Mommy Lynn. Blessings.
Hello, AG.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, mommy.
Where you at right
Uh,
now?
I just left Atlanta. I'm heading to Orlando.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do like a round trip from Atlanta to Orlando, Orlando to
So you see a lot of
Orlando.
nonsense on you see a lot
It's
of
a battle,
uncommon sense
man.
on the road, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Matter of fact, I have a video post at a gas station last night. Well, it's
Hmm.
gonna be posted. I mean, it's a gas station slash truck stop. How you gonna have 50 to 80 cars? They just bombard the whole place, park anywhere, just driving around. You'll see the video. It's
Okay.
crazy. The
Well, I
police had
mean,
to come, and it's crazy, man. I mean, common sense. Over here is for cars, over here is for trucks. Why would you be in the truck area blocking up trucks? Nobody could get out. I mean, again, common sense.
yeah. Well, like you said, common sense for one person is not common sense for somebody else. You know, and I guess in some senses we can we blame them if they have never been in that situation before? You know what I'm saying?
True, but
I got Mr.
uh,
Beltload Gary in the building.
What's up with
blessings, blessings.
Blessings. Blessings to everyone.
All right.
Hey, Mama Lynn, how you doing?
Hello,
Yeah,
I'm good. How are you?
Who else is up here on the thing?
You got AG. He's on the road right now, headed
Orlando.
the deep south. The deep south. It
What's
gets no more south than, well, I guess Miami is the southernmost part of the country
Southern,
on the
you're
east
right.
coast. On the east coast, but yeah.
very cool?
So you
What's up?
ready to join this conversation? I'm I'm sure you have some input on, what is common sense.
It ain't common anymore. That's a thing of the past.
You hear it so often though, but what does it mean? What does it mean to you?
Common sense,
Hmm.
man, that flew out the window a long time ago. Um, Common sense when they started. Well, I'm gonna try to figure out how to say this without pissing somebody off. Um, Common sense went out the window when they started calling boys girls and girls boys, and now went out the window when they started saying that you ought to get paid for doing nothing. When they went away from uh, you know from uh, well, I'll just say it, what I believe to be the truth,
Hmm.
Christian values.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I believe. They changed the
Now,
death.
is it just about Christian values or just
No,
values in
no,
general? Right?
no.
Because we
It's
have
just
every. Can you hear me?
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think your volume went out for a second. Um, so I want to ask you: is it just Christian values or just values in general? Right? Because everybody has their own, own religion, own
No,
um,
it's
way
not,
they were brought up and stuff like that. So,
and
what's your thoughts on that?
it's not just Christian values. All right, but
Did you lose him?
hey,
I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it, Gary.
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
hearing.
Can you? I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, hang on. Let me
you hear me?
turn the volume up on this thing. Turn the volume up on that.
Let me check my.
Give me 1 second. Let me turn the volume up. Okay. Uh, Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect.
All right,
So
it's some
go
kind of
ahead.
conspiracy.
I'll let you respond.
It's a conspiracy now because YouTube done heard me say something about Christian values, and they trying to silence me, Winston. They tried to keep silence my voice. I'm sorry, y'all can't hear me now, can you? What is it, Magua?
I can hear you.
Okay, but no. Um, bad signal. Sorry, AG.
Give me 1 second.
All right, sup, Miss TT. Miss TikTok. All right, sup, Miss TT.
All right. Does everything sound good now? No feedback?
I can hear you fine. I just don't know if you can hear me. I I can hear you fine. I just don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I don't.
I I can hear you fine. I just don't know if you can hear me.
But go ahead. Go ahead. What you were saying.
Okay. Let's see. I got to figure out because I'm hearing the feedback myself. Okay. Let's see. I got to figure out. I'm hearing the feedback myself. Maybe I got something on here. I can't hear. Hello? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Belt Loop 29 slash YouTube police channel.
All right. I'm here.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm here. So, yeah, we just had a little snafu. I'm working on upgrading my Wi-Fi, so maybe that's the problem.
Well, you know, you shouldn't let your wife know when you plan on the upgrade.
Well, I mean, she upgraded with me, so I don't know.
Okay.
I upgraded with her, so I guess it's a mutual thing.
Okay. So you keeping the same wife?
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't say you upgrading.
Well, she keeping the same husband, so it's mutual. It's common, both common sense in our part.
I get it. After all, you know, me and my wife is both trophy spouses. So
go ahead. What you were saying about?
Well, I think when they quit making common sense, they quit making sense when you think common sense would just be sense, but no, I don't know. I would say in the world today, people get so angry at one another that they just can't think straight. They allow themselves to be, all right, fine. Give me a second. While I'm talking. Daddy's YouTubing. Y'all leave me alone. Hey, Rich, real good to see you, brother. All right, I'm giving y'all some. Y'all just have to quit and leave Daddy alone so he can do his thing. All right, there we go.
It's a common sense to let him know to leave you alone, right?
Yeah, it's common sense, but my dogs don't know no better.
They're dogs.
They don't know no better. That's it. Y'all go on. Hey, y'all get to, I spent some time with you a little bit ago.
So, see, Uncle Bill said, we have done a sorry job of teaching our kids respect, and that affects common sense. And I totally agree with that. I think respect is a basis of when we're growing up, we're learning how to interact with society, right? That's part of one of the things we learn is our parents teach us, and as parents we teach our kids, is how to interact with society. And I think respect is probably one of the biggest part of, to me, common sense that people don't teach anymore to the next generation that's coming up. It's kind of interesting that I come from a culture where we, as a Jamaican, we usually don't walk by somebody and not say good morning, good evening, good afternoon. And I learned that when I moved to the United States, that was a Southern thing, right? In the South, it's like nobody walks past you and say not good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Right.
But when I moved to the States, I moved to New York, which is north of the Mason-Dixon line, as they say, right? And
true.
If you walk by somebody and say good morning, they look at you like, the hell is good about it, So they would rather confront you than just to be like, all right, thank you, and move on, And for you, common sense is like, okay, common sense, how I grew up is, good morning. And we keep it moving. We don't have any conflict. It's just good morning, and that's it,
Well, I've got to agree with Bill Reddick Outdoors. The fact is that I think part of the problem, and of course I got no room to talk because when it comes to parenting and what have you, I got no kids, so I got no way to pass on all this awesome, knowledge, these
Right.
genetics. The trophy husband genetics end with me. But I think that we've gone through and for so long, and we've snow plow parenting where people try to go through and hey Beverly Moffat, and when people try to make sure that their kids have less issues for them than they did.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is a lot of it is just perception.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with a bunch of entitled kids that think that, well, they should have respected me first. Well, sometimes you got to have, kids need to learn respect, and they gain respect as they give it.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny you mentioned that. And welcome in, Miss Italk. Welcome in, family. Blesses my sister. Welcome in. Look, it's kind of funny. We always say kids, but respect doesn't. It's not just about, to me, and especially you and I work in the same career field, right?
We
And
do.
we deal with people from all walks of life, ages, genders, and to get respect, you have to give respect, and that's both sides of the fence, right? We don't,
Mm-hmm.
it, you know, I will always treat you as a person, and even when you act like what is less than a person, I would still treat you as a person, right? Now we might have to deal with it in a different way, but when it's all said and done, it wasn't personal. It was about the respect you gave me and the respect I gave you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, you would think that would be common sense. Just basic respect is gone, as you said, in the world right now. I feel like that's where we've lost it, is respect.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm saying? It's gone. You know, people don't try to help each other anymore. It's not my problem. And I always say this phrase that, it's not important to you until it affects you directly.
that's right.
I say it all the time. It's like, I don't care if you're a millionaire, a billionaire, or you're the poorest person on this earth. Things don't matter to you until it affects you directly. You know,
That's true.
it's like I've seen situations. I just literally just watching a video earlier tonight before we came live of like just crazy stuff people do. Funny enough, that popped up on my timeline. They're listening to your phone anyway.
Yeah,
But there was a person that pulled over, like had road rage and stopped the ambulance, like, pulled in front of the ambulance and stopped the ambulance, right?
Hmm.
And in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, okay, what you don't know who's in an ambulance. What if that's a family member of yours that was going to the medical people trying to get him to the hospital,
right.
right? So it goes back to what I'm saying, that people don't think about things until it affects them directly. And you never know what's going to affect you directly until it affects you directly.
That's right.
So to me, the phrase that says, do the right thing when no one else is looking, right?
That's character,
Character.
and your character is more important than your reputation. Well, thank you for the spotlight. Your character is more important than your reputation. More important for you to be able to look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, knowing that you did the right thing.
I'm here. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. It's more important for you to do the right thing than to be thought of well.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Even though some people never understand you, and they'll assume you have ill intent anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to know that you're doing the right thing, not just because it looks right, because it is right.
It's the right thing to do. Yeah.
So
And we got a thing in Jamaica. They say actions speak louder than words. You know, so you can say it all day. Doesn't mean you're going to do the right thing at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So common sense would tell you, if I'm saying this, then this is what I believe in, And like you said, your integrity is the most important thing that you have.
Yeah.
It's funny that people don't even think about that. That once you lose your integrity, nobody believes in you anymore. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. So I wanted to give you 1 second here. Let me.
It's pinned, devil dog. No, don't let Eddie up. Do not let Eddie up on this. By the way, I got a question. What is Mwagwa?
Huh? What is what?
Mwagwa?
Mwagwa. What is
I
that?
don't know. I thought I had seen it on here before.
Oh, did somebody just or is it Wagwan?
I don't know. I thought it wrong. I'm probably saying it wrong.
Well, in Jamaica we say Wagwan, which is what's going on, essentially. So in Patois it's Wagwan.
What's it say it again?
It's a Wagwan, which is what's going on.
Wagwan? Wagwan.
Yeah. Wagwan. Yeah.
Wagwan. All right. Hey, now I can speak Jamaican. Wagwan.
It's patois. You're getting Jamaicanized tonight. There we
go. I think I can pass. Also, how about I can do that Australian too. G'day.
G'day. Yeah, I think we can all do that. So look, we got Auntie G all Jamaicanized now. You would think she's from Jamaica. Some of the things I hear her say, I'd be like, "Oh, she learned that," but she be listening. So some of the things people used to know, right? So things. Oh, I got Eddie. Eddie, hold on, let me add Eddie to the stage.
No.
Is he here?
I don't know. I hope not.
I added him.
Leave him in the basement.
You probably don't have to do it up here.
He may be trying to come up.
Add him over there. There he is. Hold on. There we go.
It's a gremlin, Gary. Mogwai is a gremlin.
So Eddie.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could join the conversation. You were kind of busy last night. And it's great to see you don't have the same shirt on, even though I love that shirt. So you came in at a good time because I
have a different shirt on.
I think this is right in your wheel well, right?
I had my husband's shirt on yesterday.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I need that shirt. So things many people used to know, right? So some of the things we call common sense. So how to change a tire, read a map, cook a meal from scratch, sew a button on, right? Balance a checkbook, right? Write a check. Basic home repairs, financial management, So let me ask this question. Which life skill is disappearing the fastest? Of all which life skill do you feel is disappearing the fastest?
Let me think on that. But, they had stopped teaching cursive in school. Now, I think they came back, but they had stopped teaching it. Why? Because how you going to sign your name? You're going to print your name on the X or what? Or, signature line? I mean, cursive, you write faster, but everything's going to keyboard now, digital and everything else. So that's one of the things. Newspapers, books, actual, that stuff's going away. For one.
Cool. So which one of all the life skills? And I'm going to mention it again.
Well, cooking. Gary never cooks. He always eats out. There's a lot of people that they don't cook. They eat out all the time. It's like becoming, and I mean, honestly, a lot of it is like cost, because Now it's just as cheap, is almost as cheap as eating out is buying groceries, almost, depending on what you're eating and stuff like that.
Or depending on where you are.
Yeah, and depending
Mhm.
on what restaurant you go to and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
if you can grab it and it's more convenient, you ain't got to waste time and everything else. There's a lot of kids, and I mean, my grandma cooked better than my mom. My
Hi, Emily.
grandma's stuff from scratch and everything else was awesome.
Mhm.
And my mom could cook. Now my wife can cook because she learned from her grandmother and stuff.
Grandmother.
But there's a lot of people that can't cook, that don't cook, or they throw stuff in the microwave.
Mhm.
When they do eat at home, they don't
But
cook nothing
but
from
but
scratch.
but with the technology that we have, can you blame them?
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, because eating this out the microwave, which is like a jalapeno hot pocket, jalapeno popper hot pocket or whatever.
Mhm.
Stuff from scratch tastes a whole lot better than this.
If you know how to cook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You got to put that in there.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. My, eating Marine Corps food, I am not picky, okay?
Right.
Because I have eaten the worst stuff, the worst of the worst in
I'm
the
right
Marine
there
Corps.
with you. I'm right there with
And
you.
then, I mean, yes, food tastes great, everything else, real good food and everything. But I mean, I'm not picky. I've eaten stuff which, okay, it's food, it'll fill my belly and everything else. Where there's some people will be like, oh, that wasn't good. I ain't gonna eat here no more, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, food is food, Especially like free food. Free food.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with free.
Yeah, you
Free
can.
food's the best food.
Well, yeah,
And
that's true too. See, here
and
Lynn says.
there's people but there's people that complain about free food,
Right.
people that say that
Yeah.
they don't like. Now I can understand if you go to a restaurant and like the food's like totally nasty, it tastes like skunk, or whatever, but for the most part, it may not be the best, but it's edible.
And I will say this, Eddie, because you, like I have served in the military, and I am a giver. We're all about helping people and giving. But to me, you're not truly hungry if somebody gives you something to eat and you says that's not good enough.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you ever been really hungry, you will eat dirt.
Yep.
Because it is this what takes you to survive. So it goes back to that thing where people are so used to now, okay, like for example, if I live in Baltimore, and one of the big things here is there's a lot of people that are homeless or pretend to be homeless in some cases. You never know. It's a choice we have to figure out. But like if somebody says, hey, I need something to eat, I would take them to a convenience store, like here, Royal Farms, they have like one of the best chickens in Maryland, right? I'm not advertising for them. They're not paying me. But I would take them to go get something to eat rather than give them my cash, right? Because I know more than likely they're not going to do what they said they're going to do with that money. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I would rather take you. So if I take you to, and this happened to me, if I take you to a place, you say you're hungry, and I take you to a place, and you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't want the food. That means you weren't hungry.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We're kind of getting off topic a little bit, but it's kind of that common sense kind of thing. It's like, okay, common sense would say if you're truly hungry, you would eat whatever somebody offers you. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. And that means you haven't hit rock bottom yet. You truly haven't hit rock bottom yet because you're willing to not accept what. Granted, I'm not saying eat anything somebody gives you, but I'm saying if you're hungry enough, you would eat anything somebody gives you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask both of you guys this question.
Okay, yes, I think you should drop Eddie from the.
That's not.
Gary didn't even want to come up here. He was taking a nap, and he got mad that I woke him up to tell him, "Hey, Winstone's live."
I did not. I said thank you for letting me know Winstone was live. Now get off my phone. So
And just so you guys know, anybody can come up to the Tiki Bar at any time. So if anybody else wants to join the conversation, don't let the grumpy old men be on here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fuss and complain because we old and grumpy, but we're gonna tell it to you like it is. So anyway, the question I wanted to ask, and this is for the panel too. Um, let me go down to the bottom of the chat because this chat is going so fast. So here's the question. Pause the chat for a second, and I want everyone to give me an answer on this one. What skills do you think, you personally, everybody that's in the chat, and you two, you guys on the panel, what skills should every adult know?
How to cook?
See, yeah. Lynn says how to cook.
she
So
stole
how to cook?
she stole my answer.
She's she stole your answer. Okay. So Lynn got the first answer in. So let's go.
He's got a channel, Bello 29 Eats Out. You know, not Bello 29 Can Cook.
Well, it started off as Belt Loop 29 Can Cook, but once I did a video on everything I cooked, what's the point?
Okay, so here we go. Let's answer the question. I'm gonna answer the questions in the chat first, and then you guys get to respond to that. All right. So Chef Sylvia says how to drive a manual car. All right. Let's go. How to clean your house. That should be common sense. All right. Cooking. Okay, the moose says cooking. How to defend yourself. Okay, that's a good one. Anybody else? Let's go. We're gonna let the chat. I'm gonna let the chat give me a couple of answers. Listen with intent. Okay. How to grow food. Okay. What else? Let's go. Give me some answers. How to hunt. All right. What else? How to hold proper verbal conversation. Okay. Now that's a tough one. What else? Come on, people. Give me these answers. How to find dip. Oh my God. You're getting out of control now. How to find dip squawkers. Okay.
Hey, dip squawkers is good.
How to set boundaries. How to fish. Okay. What else? Come on. Give me a couple more, and then we're gonna let these guys respond. How to pump gas. Wow. Really? That's not common sense, Auntie. Okay.
No.
Interesting. Okay. So if somebody's putting gas in the water cooling section. Okay. All right.
Well, some people don't drive, so they don't know how to
Bulldog says how to read an analog clock. Okay, that's a good skill.
Winston,
Good hygiene.
you had never seen them videos of the women pulling up to the wrong side to fill the gas tank?
So, I'm not just women, men too.
I hadn't seen them. I assume that they do it as well. But the only ones I've seen so
Uncle
far.
Bill said how to close a door.
Well, here's the thing too with the gas thing. You've had people put diesel in regular gas or gas in diesel.
That's true.
And then
How to use a rotary phone. Okay. So we're getting some good answers here, and we're getting some answers that to me are not relevant in the times that we live in.
Change your
because they don't use rotary phones anymore. But that being said, it could always come back. So it's a good skill to have, right? How to start a fire, right? How about that skill? I think that was the first, according to history, that was the first skill that man learned how to do, right? Was how to start a fire, right? So like if you can start a fire, you can survive, right? Essentially, in any climate, right? Especially the world we live in now, where everything's contaminated, so you want to cook it. So I guess how to start a fire would be number one. Anybody agree? Right? And then how to cook would be number two, right? But you know what's crazy? You talk about that whole gas pump thing. Like, how many people? And leave a one in the chat if you do this, and leave a two if you didn't know this. In every vehicle, it tells you, and it might be common sense to some people. In every vehicle, it tells you what side of the vehicle your gas pump is on.
Yep.
right?
With the
So
little arrow.
if you know that, leave a 1 in the chat. If you don't know that, leave a 2 in the chat. If you didn't know that, leave a 2 in the chat. And it also tells you if your vehicle is electric. Now that we have electric vehicles, if it's electric or it's gasoline or it's diesel. Because I've seen people put gas in diesel vehicles as well. How to use a knife to open a can with a knife. Yeah, that's a skill. Yeah, mango tree, that's a skill. I still know how to do that too, by the way. So that's actually a really good skill because there's a lot of preppers in here. So if you have all these cans of food that will last you all these years, but you don't know how to get into it, you're gonna die anyway. Says some hoses have extra long pumps that can be pulled to the wrong side. Well, that's what I'm saying, Sippy. It's like common sense would be like, because here's the thing for me, like I travel a lot, right? So every time I go somewhere, I rent a car, right? Every time I go into a new vehicle that I'm not familiar with, that's the first thing I always do is look at the dash to kind of figure out which side of the vehicle the pump is and what type of gas that I'm using. You know what I'm saying? For the first time in like a couple of years ago, for the first time I rented a vehicle that was a electronic vehicle that didn't use gas at all. It was all electronic. And I'm like, where's the gas? Where's the where's the little
What?
gas thing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just some of the things that you learn in life that we think is common sense. And again, it goes back to what we said in the beginning, right? Common sense to some people is not common sense to everyone. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that was my little rant. But I'm gonna ask this other question. I got some good feedback so far. So, what skill did your parents teach you that young people need today? I guess it's kind of in the same realm of questions. So something your parents taught you that you think young people need to know today.
Are we looking for the chat now or the panel?
No, that's you guys.
Oh,
The chat's on fire. Lynn's over here answering the chat. So what's something you think kids should know today that your parents taught you?
well, my mom and dad taught me how to do freaking everything. Because if we wanted to eat, we made our own food. We had to do dishes. We had to clean. We had to freaking. My dad never really was mechanic. He never worked on cars or anything. But see, that's the thing. I've taught my son.
Mm-hmm.
My son, and for another thing, I taught my son about credit. Okay. Whenever Andrew was younger and stuff, I told him to get a credit card and I told him to charge something to it. And when you got the bill to pay it off and everything else and to keep doing that. And he didn't want to listen to me. So I had to have Jamie tell him to do it. And then he had like almost, because he listened to me and did it and stuff, he had almost like an 800 credit score, close to it, 750 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I also wanted him, I didn't want him to have to rely on, because not everybody has money. My brother's got money. Okay. So if something happens to my brother's car, I mean, he works and stuff, but if something happens to his car or the roof on his house or anything happens, he pays somebody to fix it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Me, I'm not that fortunate. I haven't had money like my brother or anything else. So if I needed something done, I had to do it myself. I'd have to work on my own car. I'd have to fix stuff around the house or whatever. So I taught Andrew how to work on vehicles, and he's done air condition. He's done his suspension. Now, once again, with the new generation, if they want to know something, they get on YouTube and they YouTube it and follow the YouTube. Mm-hmm. But my son can do that. Mm-hmm. I taught my son responsibility about, a job. I told him never to be on time because I said, always be early. Mm-hmm. Don't, if you're not early, you're late. You know, I taught
100%.
him never quit a job until you have another job, a better job
Facts.
lined up. I told him whenever you do quit a job, give them a 2 weeks notice, leave on good terms, because you never know if you have to go back there. I mean, these are just life lessons that I've taught him, how to be a man and how to be responsible and stuff that would help him in the long run.
Mhm.
So that's, I've tried to work with him and do a lot of stuff with him that my dad never did with me, or my dad never taught me, or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I
Gary,
don't want him to not.
Gary, what say you?
Well, my father and my mother, they were kind of a wonderful combination. My father was very an analytical, critical thinker.
Mhm.
He taught us, moral values. Taught us to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He taught us to figure out how to get things done. My mother is more of the emotional side than the critical thinking side.
Mhm.
Between the two, we learned how to treat people with respect until they gave you a reason not to.
That's it.
Because the fact that we grew up without much, if we had something needed to be fixed, we had to fix it ourselves.
Mhm.
But my father was never the type of person where if he didn't know how to at least, you know, he did better as he got along in life. And I guess you could say, some of these things, uh, like Eddie was talking about, his brother has, how his brother has money. Well, one of the things my daddy used to say is if he don't know how to do something, he'd rather pay somebody for their knowledge.
All right.
He's pay somebody for their skill. Um, if you can do it yourself, do it yourself.
Mhm.
But if you don't, there's nothing wrong with paying somebody for all their experience that they spent years acquiring.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the bottom line is that um, my parents taught us how to treat other people, how to behave in a manner which you could look yourself in the mirror. Just taught us right from wrong,
Mhm.
and that that just because I'm having a bad day doesn't mean I should take it out on somebody
Somebody
else.
else. Yeah.
He
Oh,
does that to
facts.
me all the time.
Well, he takes that on you all the time.
Grumpy Gary gets mad, and then it's all Double Dog's fault.
It's
so,
always your fault because you're always complaining, Eddie. That's why.
so, so look, for me, it's kind of inadvertent, but it's overt, but not so much overt. That my parents, I believe. Hi, Sivy.
Hi.
Welcome in. And I'm going to let you take the helm in a second, but I just wanted to answer before you came up. So I think someone asked me the question before, like what my parents really taught me, and I think for me it was a sense of service, right? Without even like it was more inadvertent than it was overt, right? Um, like my mom was a teacher. Pretty much my whole mother side of the families are like teachers, principals. They're smart, very smart. Um, my dad was a firefighter back in the day, and without even thinking about it, just growing up in an environment with seeing both of them, from what I learned, was being able to have that sense of service. Like there's not a lot of military people in my family. There's for some people, there's generations of military people, generations of law enforcement. Um, I have limited on both sides of my family, but I learned from them a sense of service, right? They did things because it was the right thing to do and not because it was the only thing to do, right? It wasn't just a job. And I feel like when you've been in that world, it's very hard to explain to people. Like people ask me all the time, like, why would you go fight a war that you don't believe in? I was like, well, I believe in protecting not just my family, but what freedom means to me. You know, what that next generation. I want my kids to be free to do or live a good life. You know what I'm saying? So service is for those of you guys that have served, you understand what it's very hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. I kind of get emotional when I talk about it because it's very hard to explain. Like Lynn served in the military, so she understands what I'm talking about. That's a blessing to me because we both served in the military. So we kind of understand that sense of service. You know, you do things from the heart. You don't just do it just because it's flashy or it's funny or it's you know it gives you accolades, right? We just do it because it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what I think my parents passed on to me. I'm gonna let Lynn.
No,
No. Okay.
I did the last one.
Okay, Sibby, I'm gonna let you go ahead and answer the question since Lynn is on one right now. So is there what skills did your parents teach you that young people need today? So
Oh
for me,
God,
it's selfless service.
how to get myself out of my own predicaments that I get myself into.
Well,
Um,
common sense would say follow your senses and keep yourself out of those predicaments, right?
right, exactly, and it's like my parents are like, you do something stupid to land yourself in jail or get yourself in trouble, you're old enough to figure out how to get yourself out of it. Um, and yeah, after a few mistakes, it's like you kind of learn, okay, maybe this is dumb. Maybe I need to, moderate my own impulse. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest thing that my father taught me was to stop acting on impulse and stop
Mm-hmm.
being so, act on pure emotion and stuff like that, because chances are it could get you into trouble and there's nobody there to help you get out of it except
Out
for
of it.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So learn how to rely on yourself to get yourself out of your stupid,
Out of your own way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of hits the note on common sense, right? Like sometimes we can't get out of our own way because we don't pay attention to the information that's right there in front of us, right? We choose not to follow what that God-given talent that we get every single day. Like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
choose not to do it. But again, for me, again, comes back down to choice. I wanted to ask this question since we talked about that. So, has technology made us smarter or lazier? Who wants to go first? Maybe I'll let the chat go first. Chat, let me know. Has technology made us smarter or lazier?
Lazier. Oh,
Lazy.
I'm sorry. I'll let somebody else speak first.
He's not talking about you, Devil Dog.
You can't help yourself, can you, Gary?
Marines Army Mom says
He said
lazy.
he said let the chat go first, and you just blurt out. You can't help yourself, can you?
I have
Olive,
the right to remain silent, even if I don't have the ability.
so Oliver says both. Okay, let me read the chat. Oliver says both. Oliver, best of yourself. Welcome in, bro. Bitter Boat says mango tree. Red says lazy for sure. Uncle Bill says lazy. Prof Green says I would say a situational approach to that. Okay. We're waiting for the situational approach there, Prof Green. All right, what's that? Who else says lazier while gaining grounds in being smart? King Nero said that. We grew up with no technology. Let me see who said this. Lou Anderson said we grew up with no technology, so we had each other to talk and share with. Technology impacts our ability to share and discuss ideas. Okay.
Well,
Uh
I would say being able to look up something the answer to something on the YouTube don't make you any smarter. Just just gives you an ability you didn't have, and that doesn't mean you're smarter.
Okay. Okay. What do you say, Devil Dog? Because I got a great answer for this one. I've been waiting for this question.
Um, technology's it's made them lazier. I mean, no doubt about it, because everything, like if you remember back in school, we had to go do book reports and we had to go to the library and we had to search for books and go through the little freaking index, what's it called, the
The index, the
Oh
the
my
the
yeah,
God.
yeah,
thesaurus.
yeah, no, the little
The Dewey Decimal System.
Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
The
That's what
Dewey
I was
Decimal.
looking
Oh
for.
my God! You
Yeah,
better.
and we had to find, and now everything they just type it in, and AIs and stuff is at their fingertips. Okay. Now, there are some people that go to school, but people's always went to school. They went to school to be a surgeon. They've went to school to be a lawyer. They've went to school for all these technical things. So they still going to school, just maybe for technology. So the people that are programming and stuff, they have an education to program. But the
Mm-hmm.
general public is just taking advantage of the programmers, what they've programmed in their apps or programs or anything else. So technology, it's easier to cook, it's easier to write book reports. You got Chat GPT doing it for you. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you've got robots and freaking everything has made work and stuff easier. Back before it was manual labor. Now you have freaking the way they do, the conveyors and the lifts and the vacuum lifts and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different time to where, not saying that the person's actually lazy,
Right.
but it's giving them shortcuts and help on everything. So yeah, it has made because you put somebody that has a job now back in the old days doing it the way it used to be and everything else, and they
Mm-hmm.
probably quit after 2 days or something like that. So the generations have gotten lazier. The work ethic's not there as much, and that goes for anything. Sorry.
Okay. CV, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm kind of laughing because Whistle Stop Homestead got another package on his doorstep just now.
You can see that. You can see that from across the street.
No, he just sent me a text message, and I'm
Okay.
sure he's gonna probably get really pissed off when he opens it up and realizes what it is. But that's okay. Yes, I just now got confirmation from Amazon that it was just now delivered. Ha!
Did
So
someone send
so technology is definitely making us lazier, right?
It's okay. So humans are consumers. We are like the ultimate parasites on this planet. We consume everything in vast quantities. Sometimes we don't know when to stop and take a moment and just step away from all this nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, it's not only making them lazier, but it's making them dumber because it's like now we got people that, firmly believe with every fiber of their being that every single thing that is posted on the internet is absolute factual. So
Mm-hmm.
now we got these
well,
wackadoodle.
they're not using common sense.
Right, exactly. And we got all these wackadoodles, man. It's like, I'm sorry, but the world is not flat. The world is not flat. So, you know, and so it's making them lazier because it's like, they got this little box in front of them that they could just ask it what they need to know instead of going out and trying to find out. It's like their curiosity has just been just obliterated by technology. Nobody wants to go out and find out. You know, uh, what's the current status of the world these days. Let's go to Paris for a weekend.
Right.
That sort of thing. It's like nobody does that anymore,
So
and it's all instant gratification. They all gotta. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna do this, and without even leaving their own home.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a lot more accessible. So people are less inclined to travel because they can basically live vicariously through someone else's eyes, right?
Right.
But let me ask this
Well,
question, and I'm
I
glad
like
this
to.
technology question comes up because at the end of the day, it asks, is it make us smarter or lazier? So we talk about the fact that you can use Gemini, Chat GPT, all these different platforms to essentially make your way through college, right? Or high school or whatever you need to graduate from. Does it actually make you not smarter? Because at the end of the day, you still have to understand the information that you're presenting, right? So does it make you have to work harder to learn the information, even though the AI or whatever you use generated the information for you? At some point, you're going to have to show and prove that you know what you're talking about once you get into the real world, right? So you can, what they say, fake it till you make it. You can fake it till you make it. But once you get to the real world and having to apply for a job in whatever career field that you decide that you were going to go in, does it make you have to work harder to understand the information that you're saying that you have knowledge of? Does that make sense?
Uh, yeah, it kind of does, and but it's not a cut and dry. It's not. There's no solution that's cut and dry because it's like there's just certain things that okay, you can pop onto the internet and look something up, and it's you know that answer might be an absolute, but then you go and ask it another question entirely unrelated to what you just asked, and
Mm-hmm.
the answer is going to be different. It's like, so because Timmy and I got into this discussion yesterday over Cherry's Jubilee,
Mm-hmm.
and so he went looking for Cherry's Jubilee recipe. Um, and he watched like 5 or 6 different videos, and some of them were talking about Escoffier and getting all the information wrong, and you know, and then they were making it, everybody was making it slightly different instead of making it the traditional way that was based off of Escoffier's
Mm-hmm.
recipe, right? Who's right? You have to. That's part of the problem is a person needs to be able to think for themselves and think freely. Which one of these 5 or 6 people is right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and at the end of the day, like you said, right? If we never had thinkers in the world, we would have never left the Stone Age, right?
Right.
Because the whole point of this whole process is to challenge what we think we know, right? They always say challenge everything, right? If we never challenge everything, we would still be in the Stone Age, still trying to make fire, right?
Right.
So the information, granted, now we live in a society where the information is fast, and a lot of it is taken from the past, combined into one process to say, okay, this is going to be the end result. Doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the end result. So everything that's theoretical needs some common sense behind it, right? To make it practical.
Exactly. Exactly. And then on top of all that, today's idea might be obsolete tomorrow.
Or,
So it's
or,
like,
or 2 seconds from now, right?
exactly. So what seems right today, an hour later might be completely wrong.
Right. Which is exactly what we're going through in YouTube right now, right? Just to kind of
Right.
tie it in, right?
All things have a climate. That climate's subject to change without notification. You know.
Hmm.
Um.
There's no litmus test, as they used to say back in the day, right? A lot
Yeah.
of things that we learn, information that we're getting today, there's no litmus test to the results of what we're getting today, right? Back in the day, there was always that litmus test to the information that we were getting. So there was some process to kind of quantify the information that we were taught, right? So you could argue it because there was some process to say, well, it doesn't really work that way, right? Now it's just more information more than anything else. We're getting bombarded with it, as they say, drinking through a fire hose. So we're getting all this information, and we never get time to process it, you know. So let me go into the chat here because the chat's been moving really quick, just like the YouTube policy. Desert says changes by the second, and there's nothing wrong with change. At the end of the day, you know, that's what keeps us growing as human beings, right?
Right.
Um, I was thrown by all the variations and misconceptions about where Cherry's Jubilee came from. Tim, you have to tell us where that's from. Cherry's Jubilee. I didn't even know what that is.
It's a dessert, and what happened was a few days ago I bought some cherries, and I was like, God, that seems like an awful lot of money for one grocery bag. I looked on my receipt, and that 2 pounds of cherries that I bought um, turned out to be almost $17. And I only
Mm.
needed a handful of them, but you couldn't break the bag open in order to. Thank you. Um, Amazon just showed up. I wonder what showed up on my porch today. Um, so
Hopefully some common sense, Chevy.
yeah, and it was just one of those things, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do with the rest of these cherries, you know. And somebody said cherries Jubilee, and so Timmy, and so I made a comment, and Timmy, I'm gonna have to fire those cherries outside because I could end up melting one of the cameras that's on the ceiling, or burn down one of the tiles off from the ceiling tiles. And he's like, oh no, it doesn't flame up that high. And it's like, well, last time I recall, they do flame up pretty high. And so it caused him to go out and look for Cherry's Jubilee video, and he's watching it. And he goes, "Yeah, see, this doesn't flame up that high." I go, "It's not made properly." And so we
So
were going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and so I was watching these videos a little bit more closely. I'm like, they're also not making it right. How? And then somebody else made a comment about Escoffier, and I was like watching it, and my head is tilted, and I'm like, WTF are you talking about, lady? At least explain who Escoffier is. If you're going to mention his name, why don't you give us a little bit of a history lesson while you're at it? You know, and it's like,
Tell them who is
well,
Coffee
you see what Bulldog says. Historically, intelligence can be hazardous to your health. From quote from Socrates. So I'm glad we're talking about technology. So I'm working on the last about 30 to 45 minutes of this live, but I'm gonna ask a few more questions. This is for the chat and you guys. So how many people could function effectively if the internet went down today? Question. Who wants to go first? Could you function if the internet went down tomorrow? Could you
I could
function?
function. I wouldn't be happy about it because my TV, my cable is direct TV stream. My gaming, I have to have the internet to play Call of Duty. So, but I mean, I could function. I have functioned before, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
What's your
That's it.
function?
I'm not here about your happiness, Devil Dog. I just want to know, can you function if the internet went down tonight?
Thanks. I'm
Tomorrow?
glad you don't care if I'm happy or not, Winston.
Right now, it's no love. There's no love in the Tiki Bar right now for your.
Yeah,
I just
all
want to know.
three of y'all on panel don't care about my happiness. She's trying to move next door to me and make me mad. He freaking always blames me and everything else, and now you don't even care if I play my game.
So, Desert said, let's see. I'd be. Tim said I'd be bored, but I'd be fine. Bulldog says yes. Gary says I'll be bored really bad.
I would be. I mean, the fact is, my job don't take. I mean, we don't do a lot of computer stuff. If we write in a ticket, obviously, of course, we do have to write our reports on. Wait a minute, what was the question? Without the technology,
Yeah, if it went out tomorrow, would you be able to survive?
yeah, that's not a problem.
Would you be able to
No,
function
no, no,
effectively?
no,
Is what
no,
I
no,
should
no.
say.
Gary cannot function without the internet. No, no. He has to have his YouTube or something going like that.
I am addicted to YouTube. You know, it teaches me. For me, it actually teaches me something. I've been looking up a lot of stuff about retirement. I got
Hmm.
retirement upcoming, and I want to know everything about it. You know, from the financial standpoint, to make sure I don't screw it up.
You
But
couldn't check your Fidelity account or anything like that if the internet's down there too, Gary.
that's true. I, I would I would be bored.
Yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning. Civi, do you have internet? Yeah, why? I can't look at my stocks. Can you tell me what my stocks are
uh,
doing? I can see that happening.
so that's the thing. We're so dependent on technology right now that, honestly, as I think the hardest part would be, I would say, paying the bills for me. Like everything else, I honestly don't care about. I could sit out in my backyard and plant my garden and enjoy my outdoors. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I think in the back of our mind, we're like, well, if I can't pay my bills, then I might my house might get repossessed. So I would say without all that other stuff, I would be fine without technology. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the world we live in now requires us to have technology. I think regardless of what you do, right? Everything is so tied to technology that it's not that, well, we are dependent on it. We don't have a choice.
And some people can't survive without their phone.
Yeah. I
Some
mean,
I can, but
Yeah.
some.
well, again, it's the world we live in right now, right? Is that, there was this survey or this not survey,
Are
but
you talking about Winstone?
who?
No, I'm not speaking about nobody's funeral.
Is Lynn
I'm
talking
just
about
it's a
Winstone? Is he
it's a
always on his
blanket
phone?
comment.
Look,
Talking
I'm
about other
look,
stuff.
I'm in a two
I
phone club.
I
I'm in
caught that. I caught that because she's like, some people I can survive without it, but
that's
I
what she
caught
that's
that.
what she calls me most of the time, is some people. Apparently there's like a third person that live in our house named some people. God be like, what happened with this? Oh,
Oh, somebody.
somebody. Yeah, she say it all the time. So yeah. So apparently I'm somebody. I'm in the two phone club. So if you guys don't know what the two phone club is, we can talk about that later. But if you're in any kind of law enforcement, you know what a two phone club is. You have a work phone and you have a government phone. You have a personal phone, you got a government phone. She used to be in the two phone club, so she can't talk. So
I
I'm
think
gonna.
Stevie's here to hurt somebody.
Yeah,
Well,
well, she
might
about
need
to
to
knock
clear
some
that.
common sense.
Oh,
That's what they used to knock common sense into people with, was the wooden spoon. So good tool there, Civi.
I needed a new one for my outdoor cooking. I got a new spit that needs to get put together, but we don't have any decent weather for the next 10 days.
Gary spits all the time.
I know he does.
In a
But,
bottle. Gary's a spitter, see?
but the question is,
You had double dog swallows, though.
that was the next question. Do you swallow?
Hmm?
Oh, no.
I'm
So
sorry, shouldn't have said that.
what did Bulldog say? So Bulldog said, before the internet, I used to pay small monthly bills 6 months in advance as not to get to be hassled. I mean, you can do that now with technology, but you know, do you really want to do that? Then you have to move out in a month or the building burns down, you know. So you never know. Um,
When I
I
went, to the,
huh?
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. It made me think about when I went to the police academy. I knew I was going to be there about 3 months, so I went and paid my bills up 3 months in advance just to make sure I didn't have to worry about anything, while I was really out from the house.
Mm-hmm. All
Sorry.
right. So we're about an hour and a half in. We got about half an hour left. So I wanted to kind of get to the fun part of this. We've had fun so far, but I wanted to ask, what is the what is the craziest lack of common sense moment you've ever witnessed? Anybody can take the helm on this one.
Okay, I have got a good one. Friend of mine.
God.
A friend of yours, is that friend
Is
Timmy?
that hey,
No,
come on, stop snitching. Stop snitching. Go ahead, Timmy.
the state of Michigan put her through medical school so that she can afford to take care of her own children, and she's got 17 children, three of three sets of twins in total amongst all those children, and she drops out of college. I mean, it's like they had to, in order to be able to house all these children, they ended up having to get a duplex, three-bedroom duplexes, two of them, one for the dad and one for the mom, and split the kids up in half and sent all the boys over on one side, set all the girls over on the other side, just in order to be able to keep them comfortable. And it's like, why do you keep having kids if you can't afford to have them or take care of them?
The Lord
Why do you
said, "Go
keep
for it," and go ahead. I'm just messing.
that would make sense
Go forth and
had they
multiply.
if they were religious. However, they're not religious whatsoever. They're atheists, yet, you know, and I'm like just totally bumfungled over this one. Like, what the hell's wrong with you people? I can't even I can't even take care of two kids, let alone, that many freaking kids. It's like, and
So common sense would say what?
Stop having kids.
get a tubal ligation or a vasectomy, or both of you go in and get surgically sterilized after you've had, however many that you can actually afford at the time, you know.
Okay.
Because it's not like this was a thing where, and I've got several other friends that do the same damn thing, you know. If you cannot afford to have more children, why keep having them?
Mm-hmm. All right.
And stop
Who would-
asking me for money. You know, God.
Devil dog, what say you? The craziest lack of common sense moment you've ever witnessed. I'll set up the raid.
I thought you did it.
Oh, no. Still thinking. Devil dog.
Yeah, still thinking.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it on to Jerry while you're thinking.
All right. Lack of sense.
Gary.
All right. I got it. I have thought about it. I have know the answer. And, sending all that money to the Leering centers up there in Minnesota.
The what center?
Leering centers.
Oh,
You know about the Leering centers, don't you?
Mm-mm.
Oh, have mercy. They had the government spent billions of dollars funding these Leering centers where they were supposed to be sending children, I guess, to learn how to leer.
How to what?
Well, leer.
Live?
Well, I think technically that I think they were supposed to be learning how to learn, but
Wow.
yeah.
they misspelled learning center and made it Leering center.
Hearing center.
Yeah, but it was like billions of dollars that they sent up there. That was probably the craziest, least common sense thing I ever seen. So
Yeah, they went in and they had raided a whole bunch of them and found out that they were just They were fronts
Hmm.
for siphoning money out of the country. Um, I know what Gary's talking about.
So for me, the craziest lack of common sense from that I've ever seen, ever witnessed, is actually pretty simple. I saw a guy that we were looking for on a warrant. We went to go find him, and he was hiding behind a clear shower curtain.
Inmates or criminals and inmates are not the smartest people, man.
That is the well. I mean, he wasn't an inmate. He was a free person, but just somebody that we were looking for. And he decided that at that moment, in his infinite wisdom, he was going to hide behind a shower curtain. The only problem was it was a clear shower curtain. You
Yes,
know,
but you see, he's
and I
going to
could see
become
him
an
right. I
inmate.
could see him right through the shower curtain. So you
He,
know,
he'll do well in jail. He'll do well in
well,
jail. We'll just put
you
it
know,
that way.
common
Brown
sense would
bananas.
say we can see you, but that was my probably most funniest common sense kind of moment.
Will he have brown bananas, Sivy?
What's that?
Will he have brown bananas?
Oh, I'm sure he will have brown bananas. My goodness sakes. And here's the funny part. Back to this banana story for just a second. Okay, just a second.
Okay.
Um, two of the people that got put in ADSEG because of the bananas were supposed to be let out of jail within 72 hours prior to that incident.
Oh wow.
Talk about lack of common sense. You'd think that you'd be on your best behavior and get through the last 3 days of your jail sentence, But
Mm-hmm.
no, no, they ended up stuck in there for another 3 months. Another one got shipped off to another jail
Mm-hmm.
um, for like 16 months and so on and so forth. It was just ridiculous. Like, what the hell's wrong with you people?
Well, like I said, it's just crazy some of the things that you think is common sense to people that's not so common, right? That's why they say that's why they say common sense is so common. And that was literally of my 17 years in law enforcement. That's probably one of the ones that resonated with me the most of everything I can remember. And I've been through some stuff, but like that one was like, wow, seriously, that's what you're gonna do? You're gonna hide behind a clear shower curtain, and even him when I ran into him like like I think it was like a couple months later, he kind of looked at me and he just kind of held his head down like it's like you know so it was one of my funniest, I would say, uncommon sense moments in my career, and I've seen a few, but yeah, that one probably resonated with me the most. So we're at about 20 more minutes to go, so I wanted to ask this last question, and I'm sure, let's start with the chat. um what life skills should schools be teaching now? So let's start with the chat. Chat, let's go.
Still home at.
What life skills should schools be teaching? We'll start with the chat, and then we'll have you guys finish out based on the responses. So home economics. What else? Let's go. Prepping. Bulldog says prepping. I'm a big fan. What else? What's CM, Mango Tree? I would say civics. Civics is a good one. History, math, and English. I'll skip the math desert. I don't like math. Cooking, balancing the checkbook. All right, King Nero says how to FO. What is that? Um, Glowing Goddess says financial literacy. Okay, I think they teach that how to form their letters. What else? What else? I know there's a lot more things that are practical. Gardening. Okay, they used to teach that. So a lot of this stuff you guys are bringing up right now is stuff they used to teach in school, right? Trade. And glowing God is when you say trade, what kind of trade are you talking about? All trades? If you don't have it, you can't spend it, right? And if you never have it, you ain't gonna miss it. Economics, okay. How to mind their manners, okay. I think that starts at home. Their mango tree. Prepare for and get through a job interview. That's a good one. That's pretty good. Self awareness, self worth, self love. I agree. Uh, how to write cursive. Okay, that could be subjective because I don't know if you really need that anymore. Social studies. Okay. Uh, yes, I was typing too fast. Okay. Civics. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Anything else before the panel takes over? Science for sure, chemistry, master modern etiquette. Okay. What else? How to be a decent citizen, how to be a decent human. Some things are to be taught in the home and others in school. Okay. But you think about it, right? Like our kids spend most of their time in school, right? Unless you homeschool, your kids probably spend more time in school than they do at home with the parent, right? Because the parents got to work and pay the bills. All right. How about what they're not teaching? Well, I think a lot of the things that we asked as far as the question, Emily, is a lot of things that they're not teaching in schools anymore. So uh I'll start with Civi first. Civi, what are things that they should be teaching in school? What
I
life
think
skill, what life skills should they schools be teaching?
I think that part of the condition of a person of a kid's high school diploma should be contacting a major corporation as part of a program initiative where the corporation sponsors uh, youth that are seeking this program, and they get X amount of money every week,
Hmm.
and they have to be put through living on their own without any parental intervention
Hmm.
for 90 days and be able to learn how to do all the basic life skills and be able to employ those basic life skills in order to survive and put them out there in the wild for 90 days.
You
Have
said
them
in the
learn
wild.
how to how to find housing, how to pay their bills, how to buy food, how to prepare the food, and how to get up and go to a job every day. You know, this could be like an internship sort of thing with whatever
Yeah,
company decides
does
to,
it just say
you know,
yeah,
I
internship.
I think that would be and you know their diploma um they in order to get their diploma they have to go through it, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, and learn how to adult. They basically learn how to adult.
Look, there's some adults that don't know how to adult, so I, that's going to be a tough one.
Oh, don't get me started on those ones. I mean, you know, it's one thing to, you know, just kind of, I don't want to adult today, but they're predominantly adult all the rest of the time. That's okay. It's just that some of these people, my God, what the
Look,
hell?
I have learned adulting is a choice that, that a lot of people don't take. Yeah, and Oliver said something about being an entrepreneur. You know, the thing is that just because you teach it doesn't mean people are gonna accept it, right? little bit of part of common sense. But
Okay.
yeah, it's so I'll move on to Devil Dog and then Garrett, because I know you guys
I
got your
got it.
live you got to go
Yeah.
on to shortly.
I ain't got to get me anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gary ain't gonna be nowhere till 8:30. But in my opinion, okay, everybody has opinions, you know. In my opinion, it needs to go back to the basics. Okay. For one, the government needs to stay out of a lot of stuff in schools and everything else. I mean, the general math, history, English, you know, all that is essential for, you know, for everybody to learn and everything else. But then I think there should be, you know, just like there used to be, electives.
Hmm.
Because I will tell you something, people, you know, everybody's not as smart as everybody else, you know, and everybody ain't got the same wishes or desires as everybody else. Not everybody wants to be a surgeon or a lawyer or whatever else.
Facts.
So the thing is if you get the basics in, you know, K through 12, if you get the basics, math, history, writing, you know, English, all that, and then you have electives, you know, that, or you know, your electives can go whether it's science or technology or, you know, medical or, you know, whatever,
Hmm.
but those are electives. Okay. And then there's some stuff that the parents need to be taught, teaching the kids at home. Now, a lot of kids nowadays are spoiled. A lot of them, like my son. My son's 28 years old. He's never moved out of this house. It ain't because I haven't wanted him gone. I wanted him gone when he was 18 years old and graduated if he wasn't going to college. But I know somebody else's kid that's like 24, 25 years old still living at home. And it seems to be a trend. Me, I was ready to go. As soon as I graduated high school, I was Marine Corps. You know, I was gone on my own and everything else. And it's not like that nowadays. And there is a lot of respectful kids. I have met a lot of respectful kids out there, but then there's a lot of kids out there that are not respectful, and they think they can get away with whatever because the government does not want to allow parents to discipline. There's
Right. There's
one
no
thing
accountability.
there's
Yeah.
there's one thing in beating your kids, because I was an abused kid, okay? But there's another thing in disciplining. But the thing is with the government, you know, all the kid has to do is call and make an accusation.
Hmm.
And so it's gotten to where you can't parent your kids,
Right.
you know, because of the government and the accusation of a kid saying, well, you know, they're beating me or this or that or whatever else,
Hmm.
you know? So like I said, there's one thing about disciplining. Now, if the kid comes to school with bruises all over, broken arms, you know, something, then that's abuse. Okay.
Hmm.
But spanking your kid, whether they're little kids, spanking them with your hand or with the belt or putting them in timeout or grounding them or whatever else, you know, that, you know, there's a difference between beating, abusing, and spanking or disciplining. And
Hmm.
so that's what I'm saying about the government kind, and that may be, you know, changing culture. You know, a lot of back when we were kids and stuff, you know, I was in fights all the time, and you had to harden up quick. You know, you didn't let names, you know, words
Bobby.
or my mom,
Yeah.
yeah, my mom taught me
Hmm.
sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will
But
never hurt you.
never
It's
hurts
gotten
you.
really, really soft.
Oh yeah.
And you know, all the PC stuff, I'm like, come on, you know. It's,
Hmm.
but that's my opinion. You know, people have their own opinion or whatever else, but you know, that's what I think. I think it should go back to basics, the school, and
Hmm.
you know, math hit, and then have, you know, your electives or whatever, because like I said, not everybody's going to be a doctor.
Hmm.
And if you, or a corporate world, nobody, you know, everybody, if you're forcing kids, you know, and this is where I kind of disagree with Civi, but if you're forcing kids to go to a corporate or business kind of thing and they want to be a farmer, you know, it doesn't make sense for them to take some kind of corporate thing or internship or whatever else if they're going to be a farmer. If their dad's a farmer, their grandpa's a farmer, they want to be a farmer, you know,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I mean, yes, they need to learn how to, and the balancing the checkbook and stuff, that's economics, government economics. They taught us that back, and that's math and everything else. They taught us how to balance a checkbook and everything else. A lot of places ain't got checks no more. We don't have a checkbook no more. Everything's done ATM or card or credit card. Yeah. Or paid by the bank, And so what?
Take a breath. You need to come get shots before your.
I gotta go. I got 11 minutes. My wife just said I need to go get shots and stuff before my live. So
I appreciate it, Devil Dog.
Y'all have a good one. Love y'all. See y'all later.
All right, brother. See you later, man.
Hey, right. 1 second, Eddie. Eddie, I'll just my first piece of advice is don't be an Eddie hole.
Bye.
Bye, Eddie.
Eddie
So,
does
Gary,
have a very valid point.
Gary, it's up to you now because we're about 10 minutes out. So
saving the best for last.
No, Mama Lynn gets to respond last. So
okay, well that's still saving the best for last.
I know. Go ahead though.
You caught yourself that time. Just saying. Well, they do need to get back to some basics like reading, writing, and arithmetic. But they need to teach social studies and, responsibility to society, social contracts, start teaching people to respect. I mean, out there today, it's got to where the most outrageous things gathers attention. And, there's videos out there of people running up and just knocking the crap out of people that are just minding their own business. But yet, ultimately, I think that you run into a lack of respect, a lack of value. There needs to be some core values that are shared amongst all. And I think that we've gotten away from that. That's just my opinion. There are days when I feel like I'm thankful I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning. But that's just my opinion. And I thought it was cute how Jamie just kind of rolls the roost over there and she come in and tell him jump. He says how high.
So no, I appreciate all you guys' comments. It's I think at the end of the day, it's all subjective based on how we were all raised, right? And for each, but the crazy part is that we're all from different countries, religions, backgrounds, and so forth. And it's interesting to see that we have so much in common when it comes to common sense. You know what I'm saying? Even with everything that's going on in the world, it's crazy to think how we think the same, but yet we're taught to be separated. You know what I'm saying? We're always like, oh, well, he's this and he's from the South and he's from here and she's from there and this is that. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. I feel like, one of the things I said to someone the other day that I've had the opportunity to leave my country, move to another country, join the military, and get to see even more countries. And the one thing I learned in all of this is that people are people. That's who they are. People just want to live their lives. They just want to wake up. If they work, they want to go to work. They want to just live a good life, raise their kids. Hopefully their kids turn out to be the best version of who they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's so much, it's easier to divide and conquer and have so much conflict in the world. When in the back of our mind, our common sense is telling you like, that doesn't make sense, right? We have so much in common that, they always say you can put 100 babies from across the entire continent in one room and they will all play with each other, right? Because they've not been brainwashed to think they're better than anyone or anything else. You know what I'm saying? It's such a simple thought process, but you can put kids in one room babies that have not been conditioned to what we think is the norms of society, and they will all play with each other, regardless of their color, regardless of their language or their background, because they've not been ingrained into what we teach as human beings, right? And I think the important thing is us teaching them to one, have respect for each other. As we always say, treat people with how you would like to be treated. And I feel like that's the most important skill we can learn in life. You know, as I think who was it that said it? Civics. You know, they don't teach civics anymore. They don't teach you about other countries, other cultures, respecting other people's wishes and why they do the things they do. You know, people are so quick to bash what other people do because it's easy to dislike what you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say that I've been blessed to have seen the world and seen so much of it that I get a better understanding of what's really and truly out there, right? Social media doesn't help because it doesn't feed into it actually goes the opposite direction of what we're trying to teach when it comes to common sense, you know? So at the end of the day, I mean, maybe common sense isn't disappearing, you know, maybe we're simply just stop teaching it. You know, the world changes, technology changes, generations change, but good judgment, responsibility, accountability, and treating people with right will never go out of style. You know what I'm saying? And that's, to me, that's the most important thing, right? And to me, that's what common sense has always been about, you know, is treating people with respect, accountability. And that's just not just, it's accountability for your actions as well as people taking accountability for their actions as well, you know? So look, I appreciate you all for being here. We got about a few minutes left. I wanted to,
You play your song?
oh, so give me 1 second while I got to figure out who we're going to raid to. We got to do a raid or I will never hear the end of it. So I got a song for you while I'm looking for somebody. If you guys know somebody that I can raid over to, usually it's Eddie because Eddie is like the only person on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock that is active with a live. But we you know, we're here to support other channels as well. So in the meantime, I'm gonna play you one of the theme songs for tonight while we figure out who we're gonna raid to. So type it in the chat who you think we can raid to while we play this little song for you. Hope you like it. Listen. Listen to it now, people. And tell me who's live.
Back in the day when rain start fall, we grab umbrella that did normal. Now people pull out phone for record the sky while them get soaked, and I wonder why. If the stove hot, we know if we not touch. No one in label dip on everything too much. One man put spoon in a microwave.
You guys don't leave yet. I got the jet warmed up, and we going. Where we going, man?
Devil Dog, that's the only one I
Yeah,
picked.
so we gonna go with the Devil Dog. We're gonna go with the Devil Dog. So don't leave. Listen to the song.
Ooh.
Gary.
Yeah, I was gonna say fishing with G-Dad's live.
Who's that?
Fishing with G-Dad.
Look it up. Fishing with. Type it in the chat, Gary. Father and son, blessings.
He's good, Dave. I met him at the
Fishing with G-Dad.
yeah. Hang on a second, I'll throw the link in the private chat.
Okay. Lynn's gonna look it up over here.
There's the link in the private chat. Oh, wait a minute.
Fishing with G-Dad.
Yeah. I don't know why that's coming up as a. Hang on, let me try another way. There we go. This will work. There we go. That's the one.
Lynn's looking at it right now.
These good people. He's a small town. Well, I say small. He's got 3,000 stuff.
Eddie's always on. 8 o'clock every Saturday.
And I will be at Eddie's. But, I like this one. G-Dad, if you just look for somebody different.
G-Dad.
Welcome to the Tiki Bar chat.
Is he set up for
I don't know.
Oh no. Oh, Fishing with G-Dad is live. All right, family.
So do you want to do? He was live at 7:29.
Okay. So he might be. He might be. He went live about half an hour ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he's gonna be live, but keep hanging out, my people. We got the jet warmed up. You're gonna like this trip. So what do you think, Lynn? G-Dad? So we're gonna go over there. We're gonna give G-Dad some love. Make sure you type in I'm gonna put it in the chat. Food. No, you know what? Let's go. Tiki Bar Raid. Let's type in Tiki Bar Raid. We good?
So yes, this will say, let me do that one.
Okay, so Lenny's setting it up. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for being here. This has been a wonderful conversation. If you can think of any other conversations that we can have, please send them to my channel. I always look forward to some great conversation. All right, make sure you go ahead and like up the live. All right, like up the video if you haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. I appreciate you all. And we're gonna go over to G-Dad. All right, so look, I got the plane, I got the G6 warmed up. All right, so hope you guys, Gary, thank you so much. Sivi, thank you again for checking in. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. All right, buckle up. Let's get on the jet. All right, we'll see you over at G-Dad. Type in Tiki Bar Ridge. We'll see you over there.
Thanks for having me.
Love you all.
Love you.
All right, buckle up. The plane's about to take off.
This is Food Pinyam Airlines, where the journey is just as satisfying as the destination. So buckle up, secure your food, and let's grow.
Here is your jerk chicken. Enjoy your meal.
Welcome to the Tiki Bar chat. The only